Flares are probably one of the coolest gymnastic skills out there, but also one of the hardest to really start. There's two major things you need to be working on for them: your flexibility and your ability to circle. Gymnasts always learn circles first. You don't technically have to do this, but you do have to understand how to move your hips in a circle like this. The first biggest thing to notice is that at the start, you need to be pushing your hips out to the side like this so that they're actually pushing into a circle. It's really common for people to jump their feet forward and cut the circle. This gets your feet to the front faster, but because your hips aren't moving in a circle, this is where your feet will stop. When you're starting the circle, you also want to make sure that your hips will stay roughly the same height throughout the whole circle. If you jump up high on this side, for example, you're likely to drop on the other side like this. Aim to keep your hips level in the circle. Eventually, you'll be able to push the entire circle higher. The other thing you need to be doing to circle your hips is keeping your shoulders over your hands and pushing nice and tall through your arms. Again, it's very common for people not to do this, and here's the two most common ways I see this happening. The first is leaning backwards. This gets your legs to swing around the front quite easily, but as soon as you start coming back, you're going to get pulled off the mushroom and fall back onto your feet. The second issue I see is people not getting back onto their first hand enough and pushing off to the side like this. The second big thing to focus on for flares is leg mobility. When I do flares, I think first of kicking this leg to the side and holding it there as long as possible while the second leg swings through to the front here. I then think of holding this leg up here as long as I can while the first leg swings back through. You can see at the back of the circle my legs are pulling towards a middle split. As I go through the side, this turns into more of a straddle and eventually into a near front split at the front. The more range you have in these three movements, the easier your flares will be and the nicer they will look. So chasing flares is a good motivator to work on that mobility.